given as the limit delta t, that is the order of delta t by delta t approaches 0 as delta t approaches 0, that is the limiting value of order 0. Now, using that non-homogeneous Poisson process NT, the probability of NT is equal to n, which follows which is equivalent to the probability mass function. So, using this concept of stochastic process, that is the stochastic counting process of non-homogeneous Poisson process, the distribution of probability of NT is given as a Poisson distribution. Using this concept, we can develop the software reliability where MT is the mean value functions and lambda t denotes the failure intensity of MT. So, using this concept, what I have characterized here is software reliability growth model. Okay,
So your slides are not moving. Actually, participants are requesting to move the slides.
slides not moving.
Moving.
What
It's
what is the
showing,
problem?
I think, 15th slide. It's still showing.
Oh, only 15.
Yeah, so 15. It's on 15th slide.
So what I will do, I will share it again, right? First I will stop it.
Sir,
Yes.
please share it again.
Yeah,
Stop
yeah.
sharing and
Stop sharing,
start.
and then I will
Yeah,
share it
okay. Share it again.
again. Okay. Stop sharing, and then I will share it again. What should be problem? What is the problem? Not changing the slide.
Sir, actually, it was still over there. It was not moving.
Oh,
So now go to the slideshow
okay.
from the current slide.
Okay.
So now the second option from the left from the current slide. Yeah.
Okay.
See that.
It is visible.
It's visible to have, but it is not going in the show
Oh,
mode slide mode.
which slide is showing now?
And now, sir, it's it on 23rd, I think. 23rd slide. If it's okay, you can continue from here, sir.
Which slide?
23,
23.
23rd.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So, software reliability growth model that based on non-homogeneous Poisson process with testing effort can be characterized into two. One is perfect debugging software reliability growth model, and another is imperfect debugging software reliability growth. यही स्लाइड दिख रहा है ना?
Hanji, sir, it's showing NHPP based SRGMs with
Okay,
TEF.
right.
Yeah.
So, okay, two major debugging process. Either it is perfect or imperfect, or both combined. Perfect basically when software is detected and corrected. No new software, sorry, if the error is detected and corrected, no new errors is introduced. Whereas imperfect debugging is when the error is detected and corrected, a new error with some probability is introduced in the software. So the two broad area, whereas the software reliability growth model is of these three types. One is exponential growth model, inflection S-shaped growth model, and delayed S-shaped growth. Exponential means when the errors are independent and they present in the software exponential. That is, in the beginning, very low errors is detected and then gradually decreases. Inflection S-shaped or delayed S-shaped, basically S-shaped software. There are both types of software, both types of errors. One is independent errors in the software, and another is dependent error in the software. So they are initially deducted and corrected, and the other errors are detectable as well. They are isolated in the software. Okay, that we will discuss in detail. So, what we will do, we will just start with the perfect debugging software models. So, this software reliability growth model that based on non-homogeneous Poisson process, considering the testing effort is of exponential type. So, this exponential type having to model the software reliability growth models, we have the following assumption, the following conditions. One is the software system is subjected to failures at random times caused by error remaining in the system. This is the first assumption. Another assumption is that when the error detection process follows non-homogeneous Poisson process. So non-homogeneous Poisson process we have to consider. A third one is each time a failure occurs, the error that caused it the immediately removed and no new errors are introduced. So this is basically the exponential growth models. And fourth condition is the mean number of errors detected in the time interval t to delta t with respect to the testing effort expenditure is basically proportional to the mean number of remaining error in the system. Fifth one, we consider the testing effort function. And sixth one, when the proportionality constant, this proportionality is the time dependent error detection rate. But in the exponential growth model, this proportionality constant is a constant error detection. So these we consider these six assumptions. On the basis of these six assumptions, we will develop, we will formulate growth models where MT is the mean value functions. Using that all the six assumptions, we have formulated SRGM, that is software reliability growth model. Is this? This is proportionality constant RT, which is time dependent, but for exponential growth model, this time dependent RT is considered to be R, and we have this differential equation d of mt by dt into 1 over wt, that is the current testing effort, is having the proportional constant R in the remaining error in the system. That is, A is the initial error, expected errors, minus MT, that is the remaining errors in the system. We can solve this differential equation using the initial conditions. MT at t is equal to 0, M0 is 0, and WT at t is equal to 0 is also equal to 0. We have the mean value function MT of exponential type software lab, which is equal to M of t equals A times, that is the expected number of initial errors, A times 1 minus e raised to the power minus r capital WT, that is the cumulative testing effort function, where r is the constant error detection rate. After substituting this capital WT and MT in the above model,
Uh,
okay,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah,
Sir, again, the slides are not moving. Sir, you come to the PPT side. I think you are clicking the from current slide on the share screen. Sir, can we share these PPTs for you?
yeah.
Okay, sir. Hitesh को भेजो. हाँ जी, sir. Sir, we are sharing it in parallel. You can continue, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so it is basically the slide number 27, or go to the slide number 26.
26.
Yeah,
Hitesh, open the slide number 26.
yeah. Okay, so using the above assumption, that is above 6 assumptions, we can formulate the software reliability growth model using the above 6 assumptions. That formulation has given here, that is, say, g of mt by dt times of 1 over the small wt, that is the current testing effort function, into rt, that is the failure detection rate, and which is proportional constant rt, which depends on the time. Sometimes it is a constant, and a minus mt, that is the remaining error in the system, that is the initial error minus error detected. So when we subtract, we will have the remaining. So when rt is a fix, that is rt is a r, that is the constant, which lies between 0 to 1. We have the exponential type software reliability growth model after solving these differential equations. So very simple to solve that differential equation is using the initial condition. When t is equal to 0, mt is 0, and capital WT is also 0. So initially, uh, the software is put on test initially, the testing effort is 0, and the number of detected errors, that is MT0, is 0. So we have, after solving that differential equations, we have mean value functions MT, which is equal to A times 1 minus e raised to the power minus RWT. So where A is the expected number of initial errors, R is the constant error rate. Okay, next slide. Similarly, uh, we could obtain the failure intensity, which is differentiation of MT with respect to T, and this failure intensity as an estimate of the software quality. That is, we can use this failure intensity software quality. The expected number of errors detected eventually is, that is infinitely, when we test the software in the long run, the expected number of errors detected is a times 1 minus e raised to the power minus r alpha. That is, when t goes to infinity, that the testing time is up to infinity. So mt is given by this. So undetected error, we can, the initially the software having the errors denoted as A, and the total error detected is M infinity. So undetected errors, we could also obtain the undetected errors A times e raised to the power minus r alpha. Okay, so now we'll come to the next point of next category of the software reliability models, call it as a inflection S-shaped software reliability models. So we will change a minor point in the assumption of the software reliability growth model that we discuss exponential type. The first is okay. The software system is subjected to failure at random time. Second is also okay. That is same, the error detection process having NHPP.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
Sir, may I know the slide number?
Slide number is 29.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir. Continue, sir. Please.
Okay. So the second assumption is the error detection rate process, which also follows the non-homogeneous Poisson process. Third assumption is also same, that is we have discussed earlier, the error that causes is immediately removed and no new errors are introduced. Fourth one is the mean number of errors detected in the time interval, that is t and t plus delta t, the current testing effort expenditure is proportional, is also same. Testing effort we are considering. Proportionality increases linearly. So it's the linear increase in the proportionality with each additional error removed. So the error detection rate is increases linearly with each additional remove. The error present in the software are of the two types, mutually independent and mutually dependent. Previously, we only discussed in mutually independent errors involved in the software. Next slide, that is slide number 3030. So, on the basis of the above assumptions, we can formulate a software reliability growth models that we have already formulated in exponential type. The only difference is just this RT, that is the rate, is the detection rate RT, which is linearly a linear function, that is the b times of r plus 1 minus r m by a, where b is the error detection rate and r is the inflection. So after substituting RT, this is a inflection S-shaped software reliability models. Next slide is 31. So solving this inflection S-shaped software reliability model differential equations with initial condition when t is 0, wt is 0, and mt is 0, we have uh, the mean value function is mt, which is equal to a times 1 minus e raised to the power minus beta wt divided by 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus r divided by r e raised to the power minus b. And okay, so what we observe, so if we substitute inflection rate r is 1, that is the inflection rate is 1, then in that case this software reliability inflection S shape become exponential uh, software reliability model that we have discussed earlier. When we substitute the testing effort, the mean value function depicts in this way. And similarly, we could find uh, the failure intensity and the expected number of errors detected finally in the system. So these two formula that we have already discussed in exponential type. Now we consider the delayed S-shaped software reliability. The assumption we are just considering here is one is similar, that is the software system is subjected to failure at random times caused by the errors. Second is also same as the exponential. The error reduction process follows the NHPP. Third, when each time a failure occurs is also same, no new errors are introduced. And fourth one, the mean number of error detected in the time interval t to delta t through the current testing effort function, which is proportional to the mean number of remaining error, is also similar. The proportionality of the error detection is constant, is also similar to the exponential. Whereas the sixth one is different. The mean number of errors isolated in the testing time, where t plus delta t to the current testing effort expenditure is proportional to the current number of errors not isolated in the system. The proportionality of the error isolation is constant as well in this system. The testing effort is of exponential type. Next is slide is 35. According to the above assumptions, the model can be formulated as the fault reductions. Another assumption number 5, on the basis of this, we have another differential equation for isolation is another differential equation. Solving these two differential equations under some condition, RT, assuming that R2 and R1 are equal and which is equal to R, under the boundary condition that MD at t is equal to 0 is 0 and MR at t is equal to 0 is 0. Whereas the capital WT and the capital WT at t is equal to 0 is 0. We obtain the delayed S-shaped software reliability as MT A times 1 minus 1 plus RWT e raised to the power RW. The next slide. The delayed S-shaped software reliability growth model can also be obtained using the differential equation that we have discussed in exponential type or inflection type by just assuming RT is equal to R square T by 1 plus RT. So just substituting RT in the above differential equations, we have a differential equation like d of mt by dt times 1 by small wt rts and rt r square t by 1 plus rt times a minus mt. Solving these differential equations under that initial conditions, that is initial condition as mt is 0 at t is equal to 0, wt is 0 at t is equal to 0. We have the same SRGM, that is software reliability growth model, and delayed S-shape software reliability growth models, where the A is the expected number of errors in the system, R is the error detection rate per unit testing time. Okay, next slide is slide number 38. And similarly, we could obtain the failure intensity at t is equal to at testing time t, whereas the remaining error in the software could also be obtained mathematically as well as using the formula. Now, to check this software, to validate this software reliability growth models, we have to estimate the parameters. There are many techniques to estimate the parameters. This uh, we are using here the two techniques, or the three mathematical techniques to obtain the estimate of the parameters. One is a maximum likelihood estimation, another is least square estimation techniques, and third one is confidence interval estimation. There are many estimation techniques in the literature, soft computing techniques. I'm not going in that direction. So least square estimation methods that we have the failures data in group form. So failure data either we have in a group form or in calendar form, that is the time and failures. Here is the group form. One is the time, is effort that spent during the software testing, that is CPU hours. So we are using the this pair of the data, that is the group data. So the data we have discussed later on in application side of the software reliability models. So the observations, the pair of the data we have, that is this data, the data we have is the actual software data obtained from the literature. So T is the time, that is software time, testing time, and W uh, is the testing effort. Here in the terms of CPU hours, there are many parameters of testing effort: alpha, beta, delta, theta. Now our aim is to estimate the first. We will estimate the parameters of testing effort functions. So there are four parameters in the testing effort function. So we will estimate that parameter first by using the least square estimation technique that minimizes the, the error involved in the observed data and the expected data. So we will take the error, we will obtain the error, and we will minimize the error involved in what we observe and what we expect with respect to this testing effort function. So the minimizing the error is same as minimizing the sum of squares of error. So we will use the concept of minimizes functions, that will differentiate this with respect to the parameters, say with respect to the alpha, beta, delta, and theta, and then equate it to 0. We have we have the four equations, normal equations, and that normal equations are non-linear normal equations. We will solve it numerically using software, using own developed programming languages, programs with any languages. Okay, so four equations, normal equation, we will solve it simultaneously using the numerical techniques, or any software, say SPSS, say Minitab, say R software. So one can use software to estimate the parameters. I have used sometimes SPSS and R to obtain the estimate of testing for function. Okay. Another estimation technique is maximum likelihood estimation techniques, and we'll use these techniques to obtain the parameter of software reliability. So these parameters are A, B, and R. That is the three parameters. Sometimes we have the two parameters, sometimes we have the three parameters. So using uh, the maximum likelihood methods to obtain the estimate of the parameters. So we have the likelihood function of these unknown parameters in R and in the software reliability model, given as the likelihood function L. We will differentiate this and equate it to 0 to maximize that normal equations or likelihood functions using numerical techniques as well here. Okay, the third one techniques is the confidence interval estimation methods. So we have the process to obtain the confidence interval estimation of the parameters A, B, R. Either we can use software to obtain the confidence interval, or it is very simple to obtain it. Okay, the next slide, number 43. So the model checking criteria and the comparison criteria as well. So how will check the model? Our model is fit the data correctly, or the fit the data nicely. So we have some criteria to check the capability of the model, either uh, comparative to the software developed by the other authors, and we are working on this research here. So the accuracy of the estimate, we could consider what the accuracy of the estimate is one of the model checking criteria, comparison criteria. Your estimates is more accurate than the other estimate available in the literature. Another is the mean of square error. So mean of square error, this is long-term predictions, and which is defined as the difference between the mean value function, that is the mean square error, that we have very much familiar with the mean square error. The mean square error indicates the minimum fitting 0 and data performance. So if the mean square error is small, so it means the data is the minimum fitting errors and the better performance. So is the one of the criteria. Another comparison criteria is the R square, that is coefficient of determinations. The coefficient of determination, okay, R square approaches 1. It is approaches 1. We could say the model provides a best fit to the data. So it is just to compare, just to check whether our model are better as compared to the model developed in the literature, or just to check whether the data is fit the model nicely or not. To check whether the testing effort is significant for the data, so we have the F test. So we could test the hypothesis, the shape parameters, and the scale parameters. If the scale parameter is 0 and shape parameters is as 1, 1 or 1. Whether null hypothesis is alternative is not equal to 0. So we'll obtain the, if the value of f is greater than the f table values or tabulated values, we could say uh, the, the testing effort is a significant and having a significant trend. Okay, the next point is predictive capability. That is, we'll find the relative error and whether the software predict the errors is, is having the better capability as compared to the other software developed. So we'll consider the predictive validity, and which is defined as the mtq by minus q by q. This is basically the relative error, and the values close to zero for relative error indicate more accurate prediction, and hence it's better. Next slide is your 48. Now you are considering actual data for the application of the software. The actual data released by the Tandem Computer project, cited by basically the Woods in 1996. The software having uh, consumed the 1000 CPU hours, and the test is uh, over 20 weeks, and the error detected is 100 removed during the test. So the data that in the next slide, this is the data in the next slide, slide number 49. The time, that is t time is given, that is 1 to 20 weeks in weeks. This is the testing effort consumed during the testing as measured here, and the error detected is the initially 16 errors, then 24 errors, then 27 errors, and there are say 100 errors. All errors are detected. So this data is already given by cited by the Woods in 1996 of Tandem Computer Software Project testing data. Now, the testing effort that we use to estimate the testing effort expenditure here, the fit the data, and this is the estimated testing effort, cumulative estimated testing effort, and this is the mean time. This is mean value functions that we have estimated using the software reliability growth model. The parameters are estimated here. This is our parameters, that is CPU hours in this. And the error the software detected is 198. It was error involved in the software is 100, but this software reliability growth model detected error is 198 with using this exponentiated Weaver testing for function. So this is the application using the data that we consider. So the data I have already shared here. This graph shows how the data, this is dotted is the original data and the solid is the fitted data using the testing effort functions. So we observe this is almost fitting the data. And this, whereas the cumulative number of failures, that is the failures that we are detecting, empty is the empty, solid curve is the empty, and dotted is the observed data and the estimated data. We obtain the confidence interval estimates of the parameters. The value of R square is approaching 1, that is 0.998. So it is very close to 1 and nice fitting, as well as the mean square error is 12.5, which also smaller as compared to the other data. We also obtain the F test, and we observe that the software reliability group model fit the data very well at 5% level of significance. Okay, the next uh, compare is the very, it's not very relevant. That is the model we have discussed here, and the model already available in the literature. Just compare it. It's very okay. Is the predictive capability we have checked using the relative error approach, as using this graph, the percentage of the data used and the relative error. That is the model proposed, the model discussed here is detecting the error very nicely. Another example, that is the similar example, that is the OVI 1984, that is PL1 data based application software. It has approximately 1 lakh line of code, that's very large line of code. Is 13 lakhs line of code in the software, and that software is tested in 19 weeks. 47 CPU hours were consumed, and about 328 software errors were removed. However, the total cumulative number of detected failures after a long time is 358. So we use this data. The data is also given in the next slide. Use this data, that is the 19 weeks. The next slide, just to show the data. It's 51 slide, 58, sorry. And now then we will go to the slide 57. So this is the data, that is the time of 19 weeks, testing effort, WT is the consumed testing effort in current as well as cumulative, that is just adding this is the cumulative, and the number of failures detected is 328 in first week, 15 failures, second week 48, 44 failures, third week, and so on. This is the estimated that we have used this function to estimate the previous slide. Okay, so the parameters using the exponential type testing effort function, that is exponentiated Weibull testing effort functions, that the parameters of testing effort function are estimated, and also we estimate the parameters of software reliability group models, ABR. So it is very nice. The error detection detected is 388. There's more error detected using this software. Okay, software reliability group model. Next slide. The data This is the graph that we have plotted. This error reduction. This is the cumulative number of failures and the week. The next slide, slide number 61, confidence interval estimate is here. Same, the value of R square is also very good here, is 0.99578, and thus the exponentiated Weibull testing effort function having the better fit with this data, that is with the data of over 1988. Okay, compare with the other existing model. This the discussed model here having the better. Okay. Now we'll consider the imperfect debugging. Imperfect debugging means uh, we consider the basic assumption of perfect debugging, and we add one more assumptions that if an error is removed, a new error may be introduced with probability gamma. So we will introduce a error with probability gamma, which is constant. That is, the constant error is introduced automatically. Let NT be the total number of error detected and introduced in the software at time t. Then the model that we discussed earlier in exponential, in delayed, and inflection is changed slightly, and that differential equation using that assumption, including this assumption as well, the mdt, that is d of mt by dt into 1 over wt are nt minus mt, where nt is the total number of error detected and introduced. Error is detected and then so NT is basically a linear functions of the number of error in the beginning, A, plus the probability to introduce the error, R to N. So we have these two differential equations. Now solving these two differential equations with initial conditions, M M0 is 0 and N0 is A, that is initial error in the software, and W0 is 0. When RTs are, then the software reliability in perfect debugging is the exponential type. So these all three types that we have discussed earlier in perfect debugging. We'll again consider in imperfect. So for exponential type, when RT, that is the failure rate which depends on time, is now fixed, that is a constant failure rate. So we have the mean value function is under the imperfect debugging is this. Similarly, uh, we have intensity function, we have expected number of remaining failures or remaining errors in the system to obtain as usual, that we have discussed in perfect debugging. Now the imperfect debugging of exponential type we have discussed. Now we will discuss the inflection S-shape type imperfect debugging. So when we consider these all RT is B times, which is a linear functions with, with uh, error inflections and error detection rate, that is B of R and 1 minus R into the inflection S-shape software reliability model under imperfect debugging is obtained by solving that differential equations. And next, we could also have the failure intensity and the error in the remaining error in the software that could obtain easily in imperfect development case. Delayed S-shape as similarly in the similar manner for delayed S-shape software reliability growth model are in practical could be obtained when we substitute RT is equal to R square T by 1 plus RT. It is slide number 72. Okay, so come to the slide number 72. So it is delayed S-shape SRGM under imperfect debugging. So when we substitute RT is equal to R square T by 1 plus RT, we have the mean value function of delayed S-shaped software reliability. So we could also apply the, the data set 2 here for imperfect debugging. What we observe here in the data set 2, that is the OVA in 1984, the parameters we could estimate as usual using the maximum likelihood estimation and least square estimation technique. The R, which is probability to introduce the error, which is 0.00489, and clearly this is not zero, but it is approaching zero. That is, it is zero approaching means that okay, we needs the imperfect debugging in this case, right? So imperfect debugging is required because the value of R, which is zero, is approaching zero. There is a probability that that the error is introduced automatically. So therefore, the imperfect debugging is compulsory when we are testing the software. Next slide. This is the estimated values that we have. Okay, the time is approaching. Next slide. Next point that we will discuss here, the optimum software release policy. So, at what time the software is released, at what reliability we could use we release the software, at what cost the software could be released. So these are the many questions here in when we are releasing the software. So it is this software release policy is basically the cost criteria as well as reliability restrictions. So we define a cost model, that is the CT, C1MT plus C2 MTLC minus MT plus C3 times, where C1 is the cost of correcting an errors, C2 is the cost of correcting and errors during operation. It is C1 is during the test, C2 is during the operation, where C2 is greater than C1 and C3 is the cost of testing per unit, testing effort expenditure. So testing effort we have multiplied with C3, and TLC is the software life cycle length. So life cycle length is 2. So what we'll do, we'll minimize the cost to release a software So we have a optimization problems to minimize cost subject to the reliability achieve, for example, 95% of the reliability achieve 95%, where for C2 greater than C1 is greater than 0, C3 is 0. So when we optimize this problem using the reliability functions, so we will differentiate Ct with respect to t equated to 0, and under that we have these equations. What? So let T star be the optimum release time. We have the three cases of uh, lambda T by Wt at T is equal to 0. One, when lambda 0 by W 0 initially, which is greater than C3 by C2 minus C1, we obtain the value of T, and the value of T square, and the value of T star, and that value of T star is the maximum of T. So in the next condition, when the T star with the optimum release time, we have another cases. Case we have the third case. So these three cases arises when we optimize the T. So we apply the data set 1 to illustrate this optimum release policy. We have the estimate of alpha, beta, delta, and theta, as well as AR. To determine the optimum release time, we assume the values, that is the C1, what will be have the testing, and then the C2, the operational testing cost, and then C3, the testing effort cost. So we will assume initially, and then T of LC we assume. Say reliability is 85% and the increment is 0.1 for analysis. So we assume this one, and we have the result of optimum release time T can be estimated 35.5, that is the 35 weeks that we could release the software, where the T1 is estimated to 46 based on satisfying the reliability criteria 48 reliability. These values sustain the relationship of these two of optimum release time. So, so the T star should be the maximum of these two values 35.5 and 46.6, and the maximum value is 46.01 weeks, and the corresponding software cost we could obtain, the corresponding software cost is 11,414.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
Sir, we are running short of time.
No,
We will
no,
be
no.
grateful if you conclude
I'm just
within 2 minutes.
finishing
Okay, thank you,
few.
sir.
Okay, so we conclude the, this conclusion in general, that is we study the mathematical model of the different software reliability growth model with testing effort function. We discuss exponential, inflection, and S-shape uh, and delayed S-shape software reliability growth model based on NHP. Application with real data set are also discussed. The, dis- the discussed SRGM has a flexible structure and may capture feature of both exponential and S-set software reliability for failure fragment. Conclude that the software reliability growth model may be helpful for the software engineers to improve the testing process of software system. For further reading, we have references that we could go in detail to studied more software reliability growth models. Many references I have cited here for further readings. So this is all about the software reliability growth models that we have discussed here. So,
Thank you, sir.
okay,
Again, the participants, it's time for you. Now it's open for your queries. And you already know how to ask the queries. Either you can drop in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and ask her directly. सीधा इनवाइट कर तो फिर मैंने लैपटॉप पे किया हुआ है तो So I think there are no queries. So I request now Professor Ajiz sir, coordinator of the faculty development program, for the thanks note and concluding remarks of this day 2 faculty development program. Sir, over to you.
Audible? Yeah, I'm audible to each and everyone? Okay. In the last session of the day 2, I'm really obliged to Professor Nisar Ahmed, Head and Director Computer Center from Bhagalpur University, Bhagalpur. He has given a wonderful talk in this session regarding software reliability growth models. You have very well stated, sir, that the software development area is being used in every system these days. And obviously, the demand, the requirement of these areas has extended a lot. And in various systems, engineering systems, of course the hardware software systems, there we can make use of such areas, such results, and you have taken in depth of this area considering various models, software reliability growth models, their estimators, different kind of probability distributions. I think you have covered a lot, and that will be quite useful for our participants, especially who are interested in this area for their research persuasions or teaching. And I think this will be quite useful, and every participant must has got a lot of information from your side. This was really a very informative session, sir. I thank you for sparing your valuable time for the participants and for the Department of Mathematics, MDU Rohtak, sir. So in fact, Professor Nisar is quite a good friend of mine, and we have a long association in the area of research also. So I thank as a friend also, and a partner of the department. Thank you, Professor Nisar Ahmed, for delivering us this quite a good and wonderful session. And to the participants, today we have 3 sessions, as you know. In the early morning, Professor Manu Pratap Singh from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University has very well discussed the issues related to the area of their specializations and of course he's a man of computer science, and he has done you have explored and given the knowledge regarding his area. And second lecture was regarding health and happiness, and that was a very interactive session from the side of Vishesh Deep, who is a man of art of living. And of course at that session was we were relaxed with these words also. And in the post lunch session, Professor Nisar Ahmed also covered some interdisciplinary area regarding computer science, software reliability. So I think today was a day for the computer science professionals and for the happiness and health. So thank you all the participants for joining for this day. And we are really having wonderful session today, and in days to come we hope that we will be having more fruitful informations from the speaker sides, and there are many speakers from different institutions. So thanks a lot for joining and sharing. You see, participant, I will request you kindly join each and every session, as the attendance are compulsory and 80% attendance is required on the side of hotels. So we have to upload this attendance also. So kindly join each and every session. Try to have interaction with the speakers, and you must fill up the Google sheet for the attendance every time you join over here. In the last of the session, we share these sheets. So try to be punctual in the sessions, please. This is my humble request to each and every participant on the board. So thank you all for the closing time for this day. Thanks a lot to all the participants and the esteemed speaker, Professor Nisar Ahmed, who is in the board. Thank you, sir, and thank you all the participants. And I also thank my organizing team who is with me for sitting on the whole the day and continuing with the sessions. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. Nisar, Professor Nisar, bye. Thanks a lot.
Dear participants, I will share the link for the attendance of this session. Please mark your attendance. There is no other option. Please mark your attendance.